Hello, hello.
We're here. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you
Hello.
this? Can't
Hello.
believe it's Thursday already. What's going on?
I know. It's been a very quick week.
Has been a quick week.
For everyone else, or is it just us? Who's on? Let's have a look who is on this morning. Show us some love. Show us some love, everybody. Hang on, let me just turn my volume down so I can see you guys.
Who's here with us this morning?
Oh, there's not many
Let us
people.
see.
No, I can't see any comments. So,
Good morning, Mel.
Mel. Good morning, Mel. How are you? We're glad that you're listening to us. You get paid to listen to us, but that's okay. It's all great.
So good.
Oh, we love
whoever watches the replay or on live, that's completely fine.
Yeah, let us know. And if this is the first time you're watching us, whether you're live or on replay, let us know. Like, say first time, because we like to, we just like to know who's first time on, and
we do.
We like to send people little gifts and just say hello. And so, yeah, just welcome you into our community and part of our She Evolve Collective, which is an absolutely smashing, incredible, growing community with so many incredible humans in this space who are doing big things and collaborating. And right now we're in the middle of, Fiona's here. Good. We have
my mother-in-law's watching.
Oh, your mother-in-law. Hello.
Good morning, Sue.
Fiona, who's your mother-in-law?
Susan Plunkett. No, Susan Plunkett.
That makes sense.
She's watching.
Well done. Thank you, Susan, for being on. So right now we're in the middle of running it's fucking fabulous February. I'm not allowed to say that out loud on Facebook, but I will. Which is an incredible 28-day event. We're towards the end of it, on the other end of it right now. And that has been such a great event where people from all over the world are jumping in. And we are giving actionable steps every single day as to how to grow and develop a business. So some actions maybe on social media, collaborations, like getting to know everyone in that group. So it's a fabulous way to build a network as well. It's not just jumping in there to do it for yourself, but you get to meet people and network with people and it's like what was $33 to jump in for 1 month to be coached, and you bring somebody else in and you get your $33 back. It was just
exactly
it's great, incredible group. So we're just so grateful to everybody that's in there, to what's been happening in that group. There have been so many incredible wins and people doing some magical things. So yeah, we just wanted to shout out to everyone in fabulous February, fabulous Feb, freaking fabulous
Triple
Feb.
F.
The Triple F group, yes. And so all of those. So if you're first time watching, let us know. Give us a bit of a shout out. Oh, connection is everything. Hi, Stacey. Yeah, it really
morning,
is.
Stace.
It really, really is. So this morning we are talking about manifestation and business, and a lot of people would think, well, is that really a thing? Well, of course it is a thing, and that's what we teach. So when we talk about manifesting, something that universal laws have appeared back again. Can you hear me and see me? Also, I'm going to have to go outside where I've got the best internet in my house. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Stacey. I'm still on Catch Up, and Feb Challenge is so powerful. Yeah, thank you so much for being on and sharing that. It really is a powerful event, and lots of people are catching up, and it's fine. You don't have to keep up. It's just whatever you can do. Even if you do 10 things out of the 28 days, you're still going to create massive progress in your business.
Exactly.
Each thing. So it doesn't really matter. It's just there for you to, if you want to keep up, you're able to. So going back to the laws. So Bob was very much about implementing universal laws and the awareness around universal laws and then applying them to business. So what the difference between creating a quantum leap And if, like when we talk about a quantum leap, the difference between creating massive success and big steps in your business, like a huge leap in your business, as opposed to incremental, uh, incremental success. So maybe you might increase your business revenue by 2% or 3%, like standard things, right? That's even high in most businesses these days, right? So these are standard business practices, and we're not bagging standard business practices. They're great. But what I was able to discover through Bob's work was that you were able to make what he called a quantum leap. Like, that was a possibility. And the quantum leap was to go from, possibly earning, I don't know, $50,000 in your business to earning $1 million in your business, and to do it very, very quickly. So to collapse time. And I mean, at that point, I was not really a believer. And many people probably aren't believers that that is a possibility, but it truly, truly is. And obviously it's happened to myself, it's happened for Ali, and it's happened for many of our clients that work with Ali and I. We are able to show them the path to collapse that time and to create results that they never thought was ever possible for them, or possible in that time frame. That's more likely what it is. So just think of it now, where you are in your business. If you're maybe, earning $10,000, $5,000 a month. Now, what do you think the likelihood is to go from that to go to, say, $100,000 a month? Or write it in the chat, because if you're there, I'd love you to write that in the chat. What do you think the likelihood is out of 10 to move from, say, 5 or 10,000 to create $100,000 a month? Is that something that you think is possible? What out of 10? 10 being, yes, of course it can happen. 1 being, I don't believe it. What would that be for you? And if you're watching the replay, please participate in this exercise.
Let us know.
Let us know, right? Because it's just an incredible thing. Because I remember, Ali, maybe you want to talk about how when you first sort of were introduced to this work and your belief around that, whether you thought it was possible. Most likely, leave that with you.
I was already working like a maniac. So
Yeah,
I was what you'd call an absolute workaholic. And I guess it was ingrained in me that, with my European background, and Danny's is much the same, that you had to work really hard for your money. So I was a high school dropout. I had 2 jobs while I was still at school, and was working full-time in corporate very, very early in my life, and felt like I had to be working really hard for this money. So that was sort of ingrained in me. And I remember sort of seeing that Danny was doing, $80,000 a month. I think that was a post that I saw, and I just thought, that's actually nuts. Like, how would that be possible? And that is the most common question that we are asked. How is that possible? And I remember having the conversation with Danny, and we had similar things that had happened in our life. We'd been in similar industries in parts of our life, and to earn that sort of money just seemed like it was just pie in the sky, like it wasn't available for me, for Danny. But when she was showing me the path as to how that could happen and what needed to change for that to happen, I was like, oh my goodness, like I have been living under some sort of rock, literally, like under a rock.
You're not under a rock. I think most of us are living under a rock. It's not, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, right?
That's right. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's even a possibility, because
No,
we're so conditioned in business to be like looking at figures and numbers and doing and creating these incremental increases, as opposed to, these quantum leaps. And I promise you, from the work that I've been able to do and Ali's been able to do, and all of us are, what we're teaching now in our space, is that if you have I mean, there's a few things that you have to sort of, you've got to follow a pattern and a system, and that's the how, right? So it's being in the space. It's being in the space of believers, I think, is one of the biggest things too. You can't.
Absolutely. It was proximity for me. I wasn't hanging around anyone that I knew that were doing those types of $80,000 a month. Like, I didn't even know anyone that was doing those sort of numbers. So that was the biggest thing for me, Danny, was was proximity.
Oh, yeah, and neither did I. Like at that point, I didn't know anybody that was sort of doing those numbers either, apart from obviously, in Bob Proctor's world and people around that. Then that was like, okay, well, I saw the evidence there, but I didn't see that for myself because, at that point I was in network marketing and I think the most I'd made was maybe 10, 12,000, no, a little bit more, about $12,000, $13,000 a month or whatever that might have been, as a vice president in the company, which was still a lot at that point. And I remember starting
Exactly.
network marketing, not thinking that was a opportunity for me either. So, and that was through this work. So I was already doing this work, but not really embodying this work. I was doing it on surface level. So still created a result on surface level, but had no idea. Like I could not fathom or imagine having $100,000 a month in my bank account. Like that for me was not even, like Ali said, pie in the sky, absolutely pie in the sky for me. So most of you watching this right now would be thinking exactly the same thing, that it is not possible for you. But what we want to share with you, that this is possible for anybody that is willing to do the work, follow the system, be in the proximity, and understand that there is so much more out there for you. Now, like I said, you might think it's not for you, but we can promise you that if you can honestly shift that paradigm and that belief system around what you think is possible for you, that's the first step to creating, moving up the mountain. We call like this C-type goal. The goal is, it's like Mount Everest. So it sits on top of the mountain, and you've got to move through the base camps, right? You've got to move through the base camps. And as you're progressing, you're creating change as you go along. So there's evidence of change the minute you begin. And that begins with clarity. That's the first thing. So that's number one. Everything begins with clarity. Without clarity, if you're not clear about what you want, nothing is possible.
No.
And most people flounder just at this level. So this is number one. If you're not clear with what you want, then guess what? You are constantly questioning yourself, constantly changing what you think you want. And you may be there where one day you want this and the next day you want that. And then you think, oh, I don't know how to get that, so I won't do that. So I'll go and do that. This was me. This was Ali. This was so many of us, right? Constantly just switching from one thing to another. And switching not because we didn't want it, because we believe that it's not possible to achieve. That's
right.
more the reason why we change. It's so, and I was always anyone else looking for a shiny disco ball, always something new to do, something more, thinking the money will come from that rather than that.
I thought that was the answer.
The answer.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, right? Thinking that that's the answer to success, and it's not, right? So with manifestation, which is getting clear on something, if you are vague and have no idea, or just vague in what your result is, then guess what? You will continue just bringing in lots of mismatches, and like nothing will actually come into fruition. So when you are clear on what you want, that is the first step, and you've got to be specific with your outcome. Be specific. So when Ali and I sat down for our first launch, so we had our first launch together back now in 2000, when was it? 23. Oh my God.
I was just thinking that. Oh my goodness.
23. No, it wasn't. It was 24. Fully. 24?
No, it was 23.
What the actual F? That's nuts. Anyway, in 23, so we sat down and we came together as a partnership, and we decided, okay, well, what is it that we really, really want? So we wanted to create, we were doing this online live launch, right? So we wanted to do this launch. So we were very specific on how we wanted that launch to look. We set a number as well, as in what we wanted to bring in financially for our first launch, how we wanted to make people feel, how we wanted to feel. So we wrote that down on a piece of paper, and we were very clear. We wrote it on a gold card. So this is like our little gold cards, right? So we wrote that on a gold card. We got very clear on what we wanted, and we felt into that success as well. So it wasn't just writing it. We just felt into the feeling of having the conversation. What would it feel like after we finished that incredible 3-day event, and the celebration, and the how many women we were able to help during that event, the outcome. So we really got clear on that outcome. And if you're not clear on an outcome, then nothing's going to work. I can promise you that one thing. Al, what do you're
Yeah.
sort of...
So if the goalposts keep changing, as Danny said earlier in the live, and the goalposts keep changing, you're wishy-washy with your thought patterns and you're not clear. So like a confused mind says no, and the first law of the universe is clarity. So, and it's order. So when you get very clear and you hold that mental image of what you want, and that's what you become obsessed with in terms of what you want, you're not detouring, you're not thinking, oh, as Danny said, it's not possible for me, I'll just change my mind. It has to be something that you hold in your mind. If you're holding it in your mind, you can have it in your hand, but it's the will.
Yeah.
We're using our higher faculties here to activate that will and that ability to keep that close to us, because the more that you can get into that feeling of what we're creating,
that's number
the more
two.
likely it's going to come into fruition. Sorry, I'm
100%.
getting my F's
No.
can't come out right now.
I can't get my... So the second part, Nellie just sort of touched on that, is your identity. So it's feeling into it. So what is identity? What does that mean? So that's like, first is your clarity. Second is your identity. So identity is how you are showing up as that person who's already created that success. And this is exactly what we did. So we sat down, the minute we came together, we treated our business like it was a fair income, successful business where we were bringing in millions of dollars every minute, like literally. So
that's right.
So serious. We stood into the power. We were aligned with who we believe we were, coming from that place. And a lot of people don't get this. They think that, they keep moving into the identity of the person that they're becoming, as in the person that they currently are, not the person that they're becoming or have become. So that's a really, really big shift. And most people find that really tricky. So if you're not manifesting what you want, this would be one of the reasons why. Because everyone says, but how do I feel like I'm earning millions of dollars when I'm not? So this is a practice, and this is something that we teach when you come into proximity, when you're in our space. We show you how to up level into that version of yourself, because this is one of the most important moves that you will make when it comes to manifesting business. And this is the quantum leap. This is how the quantum leap happens. So something, if anyone knows Neville Goddard's work, it is feeling is the secret. So you've got to feel it. So who truly, like, mark yourself out of 10, who truly feels, 10 being, that the highest level, that you are in the identity of who and what you want to create in your goal, like your end vision, your end goal. Are you living from that feeling, or are you living from the feeling of your current goal, which is, nothing's working out? When's the money coming in? I don't have enough money. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling really, low because nothing's sort of working out right now. When is the client going to show up? When is the money going to show up? That feeling of not enough of is not an identity. There's no identity shift there. So you've got to, number two, you've got to make the identity shift. So feeling like you have the money, even if you don't have it, feeling like, everything is working out for you. When someone asks you, how is your business going? You say, yeah, it's going. It's great. It's going. Not, oh my God, I can't find any clients. I don't know where this is. Blah, blah, blah. So instant shift in identity will create a huge change in your results instantly. Now, Ali, I know we had that meeting and you walked away with a different identity instantly,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
You did that.
So from someone who was selling programs for $99 and then increased the price to $5,000.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a price increase. So when Danny and I physically met in person, I feel like it was May 2023. I feel like
back in the olden days.
Back in the olden days, Danny said to me, what would it feel like for you, and what would it feel like for your family if you were to create $25,000 this month?
Yeah.
So for me, that was like, there is just no way possible. Like that was like 4 months work for me, like in corporate, that there was no way that was going to even be possible. So I remember her telling me this, and I thought to myself, okay, if Danny's been able to do this and I follow her exact steps as to what she's done, why can I not create this? So it wasn't just me following the steps, though. It was me actually embodying exactly what she told me to do without deviating, without actually changing the goalposts myself, because I thought I knew better. Because what I was doing was not working. It was not working. So
Yeah.
I literally went away from that meeting. I arrived in a borrowed car with my stepdad's, disabled car parking ticket and parked in a disabled thing. Excuse me. And
Oh, bless you.
thank you. And walked away from that meeting still in the same car, still in the disabled car parking spot. However, I knew that the decisions, the feelings, the actions, who I was being as a $99 per program income earner was not the person that I needed to be earning $25,000 a month. So I walked away from that meeting in that state that was my new normal. That was my new
Yeah.
benchmark. Did
Yeah.
that hadn't hit my bank account yet. I did not know where the clients were coming from. I did not know how that was going to show up, but that's the universe's job to do that. It wasn't mine. I just had to hold the vision of exactly what Danny had told me to do. So there was some strategy around it, but it was actually feeling, believing, seeing, and getting into as much embodiment as that 25,000 a month income earner. So when I was delivering, I was that person already. When I
Yeah.
was moving, when I was making decisions, I was that person. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not there yet.
That's
So
step 3. That's step 3.
okay, I'm jumping ahead. Going to step 3.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Oh,
Going to
no.
step 3.
And this is the
Uh,
thing. So moving, like you were saying, moving into alignment. That's exactly what I had to do as well. Not into alignment. Sorry, moving into the feeling of becoming and being that person from that space, from the person of already having achieved that success. So again, what we were just sharing is that becomes the trickiest thing to do. So Ali walked away with complete. It was like it was like a
it was
remember Jeannie?
emotional impact.
Does anyone remember Jeannie? Ding, that
It
her?
was
She was
literally that. It
yeah,
was
it was
literally the
literally
Genie
switched
feeling of
on, done.
arriving at that meeting,
Yeah,
tolerating all of this
yeah,
bullshit that I was tolerating over and over
yeah,
and over again, and making these excuses as to why it wasn't happening.
yeah. Working
To,
harder, doing all that.
yeah, doing all these things and having so much resistance as to looking at others. And even though I didn't think I was comparing, I think I was comparing, because I
Yeah,
was sort of doubling
natural.
down on how much work I was doing to try to achieve that result. So when I walked away from that meeting in a different feeling, in a different state, well, I was
Yeah,
surrendering and was much calmer in my feeling of what I was doing and decisions. It was the game changed, but I had to take the action, of course.
which is number 3. So
Yeah.
that's the next part of it. So once you're in the feeling of that, then it's taking aligned action, and it's non-negotiable aligned action. It's not just action. It's like knowing exactly. So now you're really clear on what you want. So say, for example, Ali and I were clear that we wanted to create 100, and I think it was 120, 100,000 was the first
It's
event. So
100,000. Yeah.
100,000 from one event. So, and we're like, together we hadn't done that. So we then sat down with the feeling. So what did it feel like to create $100,000 event? So we got into the feeling of, everything. We sort of made sure that every time we spoke, we were speaking from a place of, oh yeah, so we have another person's registered for the event. How amazing! This is great. We never spoke for 1 second about, oh shit, no one's registering. Oh my God, what if no one shows up? We never for 1 second showed up like it wasn't going to happen for us. We were constantly
Exactly.
showing the person, as the people, as the business, that everything was aligned. It was just happening for us, and we're in this beautiful flow. We were in flow energy, and that's the feeling we kept, because we knew it was happening. We knew with every ounce in our body. And then what we did is we took number 3, which is massive aligned action. So it's not about just sitting in kumbaya and holding hands and, singing songs, right? There is action to be taken, and manifesting, people get very confused between just sitting and thinking something into existence, and then other people are just completely in action and just working like maniacs to create a result. So it's actually a combination of all three. So the actual outcome, the feeling, so the identity of that person already having achieved it, and then massive aligned action that you will take, like literally every single day. You are taking so much action, not action in a place of like in a frenzy,
No.
action that is aligned with the identity of someone who has already created the success. That's the difference. So, like Ali was just saying, decision making. We would make decisions not on what was in our bank account. We would make decisions on the person or the company or the business coming from $100,000 a month business. And that's
And
what we started
can I
to
just
do.
make a really important point there? So
Yes.
Danny was existing, she was coaching independently and doing really well. And I had sort of just got into that myself, and I was doing, you know, I was doing the 25 to $30,000 months myself. So together, we though did not invest anything in our business to get started. So don't think that we like had capital together to create She Evolved Collective to create that $100,000 a month. This was basically a brand new business. Danny's in Melbourne, I'm in Queensland, and we basically did exactly what Danny is telling you, independently, merged together, and then created this. So it wasn't like, okay, we threw like $50,000 on paid ads, or we did this or we did that. There was no
Yeah.
like, this was exactly the steps that Danny's telling you. This is what we both did together to create. And it's even a little bit more tricky because we're two people. So we had to be doing this at exactly the same level to create the result. So if you're watching this, you're just watching it independently. We had to do it in sync together to create the result.
Yeah. And we're going to give you one more really amazing tip that I know that will serve all of you. And if anyone watched my Instagram live yesterday, or what it was at a story, I talked about the one thing that creates massive success. And people think that it's, getting all your ducks in a row and creating like, oh, I've got to have this ready and that ready, and perfection. So perfection holds back so many of us. We see it all the time. And I'm like, perfection will not move you. It will keep you stuck for so long and just keep you overthinking and overthinking. The biggest shift that we made was speed in our business. So the minute we decided, we took action immediately. We didn't wait. We didn't wait a week. We didn't wait a month. We just did it and then worked out how. We worked it out how after we made the decision. We didn't just sit there and say, okay, this is perfect, Canva's perfect, this is a good post, blah, blah, blah. We just did it, spelling mistakes and all. It did not matter.
Exactly.
We were just taking the action. And when you take the action, you will move the needle. And most people in business never move the needle because everything has to be perfect. And that's why these steps that they're taking are just little step, little step, little step, little step. And
Yeah,
that
they're
takes
incremental.
incremental. It doesn't work. That comes through anyway. But that was one of so speed, the minute we made a decision. And I want to ask you this question. How many of you have been in a position where you could have done something, but you held back because things just weren't right? It just didn't look like, as in when I say it wasn't right, there were too many processes that you had to do before you said yes, or before you made that move, or like something didn't seem good enough. So you just waited for it and you waited and never happened, right? How many times has that happened? And
Exactly.
even with ideas, like people have so many incredible ideas. The reason people create success is when they move quickly, because otherwise you're left behind. So whatever idea you've thought of, someone else has thought of that. 100 other people have thought of that exact idea as well. The difference is those that create the success move quickly on that idea. They don't wait. They don't sit, because you'll just flounder and stay in the foothills while that other person's almost Mount Everest at the summit. And that's the difference between speed. People just are not comfortable with speed because of, this whole, feeling of it has to be perfect. So it's another big
It's a big one.
big one. So, and that's what we did. We are Speedy Gonzalez's, right? The minute we think of something, it's already done. Like it's done. An hour before we've even thought about it, it starts moving into action. And we were able to scale to over $1 million very, very quickly in was it just over 12 months we scaled to $1 million, or there you go. And that was literally from speed. $1 million, guys, just think about that. That is like, that's huge. That's huge when you're starting from 0 to $1 million in 12 months and then scaling again, doubling that. So we just want you to know that, we are no different to anybody else out there. We're just ordinary people with a special gift inside of us. And that gift is, it's God, maybe for you, maybe it's Source, we have this incredible gift within us. And that gift is the ability to create anything we want. We have the power. We just don't know how to project and use that power because it's so conditioned and so like just trapped. And this is when we can help you untrap that, like literally let's set it free. You become free to create and
we activate it for you.
That's the one. Activation. We activate it.
Activation. So, yeah.
It is amazing, Stacey. Like it's huge. People don't realize that the scale as to what we've been able to build in such a short time together, starting from zero, no dollars. Like Ali said, there was, what we did, we had a Kajabi. We bought Kajabi, and at that point it was like, shit, it's $300 for Kajabi. And look, and we basically said to ourselves, if we are going to be, if we're standing into the $100 million or $1 million business a month, then we must then show up and make decisions like that. So we decided to use Kajabi, not one of the smaller programs. And at that point it's like, but we did it, and we knew exactly what the result was. So these are sort of the sort of decisions. Getting that website that maybe you don't want to spend money on that website, and you might have the money sitting there, but you think, no, I'd rather invest that into something else. If it's going to move you in your business, if it feels good, if it feels elite, if it feels the best, do it. Go for the best. And I know that might challenge people, but that's going to be the difference between your success and not. Yeah,
exactly.
So, that's it for today.
So our team will drop a link in here, guys. If you want to speak to our team and have a bit of a transformation call and work out where you are, where you're going, and
absolutely,
and what the gap might be, you're welcome to book a complimentary call, and our team can walk you through that and show you what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to invite you to do that. So, and this is how I started, and this is how Ali started. It was just a simple invitation to find out more. And, when if something aligns with you or not, and if you're looking for that, and this is what you are looking for, well, we might be the right people for you and we may not be, and that's okay too. But, we're just very passionate about helping people who are at ground zero or who are really even, successful in their business already, but are looking to take that next step. We're here to show you how to do that exactly. And, being in our space, we're very, very proud of everyone in our space and proud of what we've been able to do and help people grow. So for us, it's massive to be able to do that. So yeah, just have a conversation. We'd love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your day. See you guys. Bye, guys.